Ms. Vaught, you say your ex-boyfriend, Mr. Lindsay, abruptly ended your relationship due to paternity doubts. But today, you want to prove he is your daughter Shelby's dad.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Lindsay, you say the plaintiff, Ms. Vaught, has committed paternity fraud. You claim she deceived you into believing that you fathered her daughter, but today plan to prove you are not her father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Additionally, you are countersuing for a lie detector test to determine the extent of Ms. Vaught's infidelities. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Ms. Vaught, well, the stakes are pretty high today.
Yes, they are, Your Honor.
Explain.
I wouldn't place a baby on someone that I didn't know, like didn't believe was her father. You get what I'm saying? I have 2 previous kids before him, and my children both have the same father. And if I felt in my heart that he wasn't the father, or if it was a second guess of him being the father, I would have told him from the door.
What was the nature of your relationship?
We were good. Like, he was my best friend at the beginning. Our relationship started going south because he felt like she wasn't his due to something hearsay.
What happened, Mr. Lindsay? She says you all were good friends. Were you in a relationship? Were you just dating, or were you committed?
No, we was good friends. We was in a relationship. Everything was going good. Today, I feel like she too friendly. She too friendly to me, man. She too friendly.
Too friendly?
Too friendly.
Everybody, her cousin,
Your
her
Honor,
brother.
he has a
it's
nerve.
Like that.
Oh, too friendly with different guys.
Exactly, Your Honor.
Okay. How long were you all seeing each other?
About 2.5 years.
2.5 years. Sleeping together without protection?
Yes, we were.
For
All
2.5
the time.
years?
All the time.
We was on and off for 2.5 years. She not telling the truth. We was on and off
No,
for
he
2.5
went away
years.
for 6 months of the 2.5 years.
And we still was on and off, Your Honor. When we first met, everything was going good. We was doing good. Then little stuff started popping up with her.
What popped up?
Her talking to people. Some stuff popped up in her.
She can't have a conversation, Mr. Lindsay?
She can have a
Your Honor,
conversation.
he talks.
But how many conversations you gonna have with Mel?
So I want to know specifically, what was it about these conversations that troubled you?
All right, we're gonna start off with this one. Somebody was in her, I don't know what they call it, her little Instagram. I guess they was supposed to be knocking on the window. How somebody knocking on your window when you supposed to be talking to me?
So wait a minute now. You said somebody that was on her Instagram was knocking on her window.
That's what the message said.
What did it say?
It said, I'm gonna be at knock on the right window. She was telling the person knock on the right window.
And
to the address to her house.
Oh, so she was giving somebody her address and telling them to knock on the window.
Yeah, basically
and you
sound
saw
like a booty
this.
calling me.
that right there, that has nothing, honestly, to do with it, because we weren't even really talking in that nature at that time. So for him to throw that up, because we really began being serious in about March of 2014. So he's talking about something when he was away in New Haven. That's what he's talking about, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Lindsay, besides her on Instagram and you see her telling somebody to knock on the window, what else?
She told me the baby wasn't mine. So what I'm supposed to do?
And that's, Your Honor, I said that out of anger, because for him to say, because he would say to me, Your Honor, oh, I don't feel that's my baby. I don't feel that's my baby. Why would you say that when I'm loyal to you? And I have been 110% with you. I don't lie to this man about nothing. And if I felt Shelby was not his, I would have told him. Honestly.
And Ms. Vaught, I have to tell you, like I tell every other young woman in this courtroom, once you ring the bell, you can't unring it.
And I understand
Once
that.
you say that, it's a statement that even if you take back, they can't forget it. It automatically creates doubt.
Okay, Your Honor, so if he says that's not his daughter, for me to continuously kick him out of my house, is that an issue? Because I'm not going to have you sit around here.
If the dates don't add up, how is my daughter?
The dates add up. I know the day I got pregnant because it was New Year's Eve,
Mr. Lindsay, what are you saying? The dates don't add up.
The dates don't add up. If the baby was conceived in September, that would mean December, February, we would have had to be together. We wasn't together on them days.
And
what is that, Mr. Lindsay?
This is a calendar right here.
Ron, will you hand that to me, please?
To show you that the dates don't add up. It don't make sense to me.
Your Honor, please.
You have a calendar here, sir?
Yes, he went over and above.
Show me what it is.
I never seen him play with a tablet for the sake of my life. But now he got a tablet all of a sudden.
You see where it say December and January? I was away. We live in different towns. I wasn't even in the same town.
You were away and when?
February, she talked about she pregnant. How
He
that
was
add up?
away in
Add the
December.
months. I'm not.
So you're
I'm not that
saying
good at math. I'm not
if you
math
count
proficient,
back
but
9 months,
I know better.
your contention is that she conceived somewhere in the December-ish area,
And New Year's Eve is December.
and you were away with your family out of town for 2 months.
Exactly.
And you didn't get back to town, and you all didn't get back together till February. So you feel
Exactly.
like the conception doesn't add up.
It doesn't add up.
I know my body. I know when I was pregnant. I'm not gonna lie to this man. At the end of the day, we were together New Year's Eve of 2014, bringing it in. I just got out of work, bought some alcohol, and I came home and we had passionate love making. So I don't
With
see
who?
how.
With
What you
who?
mean with who? Your Honor.
You assert that you all were together
Yes,
New Year's
Your-
Eve.
Yes, Your Honor.
And so that would have been December 31st. That would have been within the window of time.
Exactly.
And so, Mr. Lindsay, you're saying that's incorrect, that you were not with her?
I was not there. I don't know if she got me confused with somebody.
And you see,
but I
that's
was not
disrespectful
there.
right there. Because if we were
All right.
together 2.5 years, how could you open your mouth and say something like that?
And that hurts your
And
feelings.
it does, because I love this man, and he know I love him. So for him to act like that to me right now, if you felt like that, you could have walked and did your business. You're not chained to be with me. So my thing is, if you felt like that, you should have let that be expressed. Don't sit around wasting my time, wasting my love and energy on you.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell.
I'm a daddy's girl at heart. So why would I want my daughter not to know her father? And my thing is, I'm gonna be a woman about it. If I was cheating on you and I thought she wasn't your baby, listen, Mr.
But
Lindsay.
you ain't told me you
Mr.
cheated
Lindsay.
on me. You ain't told me. I don't know.
No, I
girls
said
go
I-
through hormones and stuff when they pregnant. and stuff.
Pregnancy.
I don't know if she just be saying it just to be saying.
And I said I cheated on you? And when I was
told me,
pregnant?
man, I'm gonna go cheat on you.
Oh,
today.
because he cheats on me, Your Honor. Let's be real.
Look.
When you go tit for tat,
And he goes worse. than
you
tit for
end
tat.
up in a
He's not telling
situation
his
where
tit
you
for
Your
don't
Honor.
trust one another. So all of this mistrust, it just fuels the doubt.
tat. It does.
It's just growing and growing, because he's sitting there, he's dead serious. He's just like, I don't know if it's my child.
And if he didn't know, Your Honor, my thing is, why you stay around so long? Like, why build a relationship with me, making it seem like, oh, we're just gonna be this happy family? Like,
But I never agreed to that.
You never
Like,
agreed?
I
Like,
agreed
it's
to
so
that.
crazy,
Listen,
Your Honor,
Your
that
Honor.
Mr. Lindsay here, now he never agreed
Yeah,
to
Your
nothing.
Honor.
So I'm sitting here lying in front of you
Your Honor,
just to
if
make
the
myself
kid is
look
mine-
good.
Well,
Honor,
let's
the kid
talk
mom-
about the lying. Let's talk about the lying, because Mr. Lindsay requested in his countersuit a lie detector test, because he's convinced that you were lying about other infidelities.
And Your Honor, he's doing that from hearsay.
We have
honestly.
administered that test, and I have the results. Ron, may I have the envelope? Thank you. Ms. Vaught, you met with a licensed polygraph examiner.
Yes.
Before I read these lie detector results, what do you believe we will find out?
The truth?
The truth.
That's all it is. That's what the point of the test was for, to tell the truth.
Ms. Vaught, you were asked, did you have sexual contact with the man who sent you an Instagram message about which window to knock on? You said no. The lie detector determined you were being deceptive.
What does that mean? That I
mean
was
you was
lying?
lying.
Not telling the truth.
I was lying?
That's what that means. Deceptive.
Okay,
You was
Your
lying.
Honor.
Ms. Vaught, you were asked, did you have sexual contact with the man who sent you messages calling you sexy and boo? You said no. The lie detector determined you were being deceptive. So
Your
you
Honor, I know I
failed
ain't
both
lying.
questions of the lie detector test,
That's
Ms.
a
Vaught.
lie, Your Honor. I know I didn't cheat on this man, because I feel like this, Your Honor. I give Shelby nothing but respect in everything, in every way. I don't treat this man no type of way. He feels like that because of
I got
something
the
somebody
results. I
said.
got no more to say. The
You got the
results speak-
results?
The results speak for itself. Unless you argue with the lie detector, man.
I feel like you're doing this because you wanted to make it seem like I'm this bad person to you.
You make it seem like that. I didn't take the lie
Mr.
detector
Lindsay,
test and fail.
Mr. Lindsay, but he won't submit to one. Why won't he submit to one?
I'm not certain that Mr. Lindsay would pass a lie detector test either, Ms. Vaught.
Thank you,
The
Your Honor.
Listen,
Your Honor,
Thank
how
you,
you
Your
do that?
Honor.
excuse me.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank
I
you.
have my own opinion.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And I believe that.
Thank
I
you,
am
Your
not
Honor.
certain you would pass
You
a
wouldn't,
lie
and that's
detector
why
test.
you wouldn't take
What
it,
I
Your
am
Honor.
certain of is his infidelities unfortunately have no bearing on the paternity as it relates to little Shelby.
You're right.
That's why we keep focusing, and that's why he asked those questions, because he wanted to see, were you involved with or sleeping with anyone else during that time?
I never slept with anyone, and he knows that. I told him
How
when
I
it
know
came
that?
out.
The lie detector just said something different, man.
I told him, okay, we were cool.
Now I
It
really
was
got
nothing.
to doubt the time. I don't know. I really don't know what's going on now.
Did you have sexual contact with either one of these gentlemen? You
No,
failed
I
both.
had no
You
type of
failed
sex-
both answers.
I never had no type of sexual contact. That's what I'm saying. Look at my beautiful baby. How could he sit there and deny her? She's everything of him, from the head to the nose. All she has is me, is my cheeks. Everything. A family member just the other day said, oh, she has a gap like somebody in the family. If he felt, Your Honor, that Shelby wasn't his, why would you give her your name? Why would you sign the birth certificate? Your Honor, when I was in labor, he was at work, okay? He ran 10 blocks up the street, made sure he stopped at the gift store to get me a balloon teddy bear and a flower. Okay, being a good guy.
Being a good guy.
That's being a good guy.
Wait a minute, Mr. Lindsay. Wait a minute.
Thank you.
Wait a minute.
I still bring her something to eat. That don't mean nothing.
No, but I'm gonna have to agree with Ms. Vaught. I mean, if you have a child and you don't know the child's yours, you don't stop by for the teddy bear, the balloons, and the flowers.
And no flowers.
I'm not gonna lie.
If you felt like she wasn't your baby, Your Honor, if he felt like she wasn't his, why would you sit there and embrace him?
Okay, one at a time.
She persuaded me into giving the baby my name, and right now
I persuaded
got a
him?
petition to change the name if that's not my child. May I get
Let
this
me
to him,
see that,
please?
Ron.
You was just so articulate now. He is just so into everything. Your Honor.
Never seen
Your Honor. This is
bringing out all the stops in court today.
When the results come out that he's her father, I would love for him to keep this up so we could build and get better, because I love him. Because I love him. Because I love him. No doubt in my mind. I want to be with him, Your Honor.
Keep this up.
Your Honor,
this is professional.
I want to be, and you know what I mean, because
I do.
Being from where we from, being in that area, people mistake you as a criminal, a hoodlum, and he's not that. I know the potential, because I love this man. I would still want to be with him. I hope this will make him realize I'm always going to be here and I love you. And when it comes out that she's his daughter, we can work it out, because there's no reason I don't want to be with him.
So this petition he presented is basically a request to change Shelby's name if in fact she's not his biological child. He wants his name, Lindsay, off of the birth
Shelby too. Don't forget Shelby.
Okay, excuse me, Your Honor. Her name
Oh,
is
that's your name
Her
too.
middle name is Renee, right? Your Honor. Every female in his family has Renee as their middle name. So if you really felt like it wasn't your daughter, why would you give her that?
No matter what, if it ain't mine, I don't want her with my name.
I'm 110%.
So what the issue is,
if that was the
hold on. The issue is this. The issue is there's absolutely no trust.
Oh, from the
You
door.
don't believe anything he's saying.
I don't.
He don't believe anything you're saying. And the truth is, I want to know where you stand. She says she loved you. How do you feel, Mr. Lindsay? Are you willing to work on the relationship if, in fact, Shelby is your biological daughter? Or are you ready to walk away if she is not?
I want to raise my daughter with her mother at the end of the day. So if Shelby my daughter, we could attempt. But it's just, we got to gain a little trust or something, because right now, it ain't working. You see,
and if she's not your biological daughter, then what?
We're gonna have to go our ways and get out of each other's life. If she's not my daughter, why would I stay?
All right, then that means the stakes are higher than ever.
I respect that.
I'm ready for the results.
Let's go.
Ma'am.
Thank you. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Vaught versus Lindsay, when it comes to 9-month-old Shelby Lindsay, it has been determined by this court, Mr. Lindsay, you are the father.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm so happy. Can I have that, please? Can I have that?
Oh, you
Yes,
want to put this
because-
up in the house?
Yep, I sure am.
You gonna put this on the refrigerator?
Every family member.
I can only imagine what it feels like.
It
For
hurt.
9 months, you have
It
a
hurt.
beautiful baby,
It
and
hurt.
people are questioning you, questioning the baby. The father won't be fully attached. Constant arguments. It is stressful enough having a new baby, but having a new baby with the stress of everyone doubting you and the father of the child denying that the child is his, that's a lot. You two obviously love one another, but you don't trust one another. Now, if you want to climb up out of that, you got to do the work. And that's getting back to the basics. The basics in relationship: communication, trust, respect, commitment. Now, we have counseling and resources for you all, and I want you to take advantage of it and figure out how you're going to work this out. Ms. Hines, today you've summoned your ex-boyfriend, Mr. Jackson, to court. You want to prove that he fathered your 22-month-old son, Matthias. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Jackson, you claim Matthias cannot be your son because Ms. Hines had another man living with her around the time of conception. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct, Your Honor.
So, Ms. Hines, why are you so certain Mr. Jackson is your son's father?
Christmas Eve, we had sex in the car. After that, I told him that I was pregnant. He basically said that he gave me a Christmas gift because he didn't give me anything for Christmas.
Your Honor, I believe that's a false accusation because
Okay.
more than likely I always be with my family on Christmas because we have
This
like
is
traditions.
Christmas Eve and not
So,
Christmas. We agreed to be with our family
Christmas
on
and
Christmas.
Are you disagreeing that it was Christmas Eve, or you're disagreeing that you're the
Yeah,
only
I'm
person
disagreeing
she
that
was
it
having
was
sex with?
I'm disagreeing on both behalves because she was living with another male, so it's kind of like hard to like judge her because like.
So while you all were in this relationship or just having sex in the car, whatever it was you all were doing,
Yeah.
she was in a relationship with somebody else.
Yeah, it was a relationship. She had another male living with her.
I'm trying to understand this. So you two dated?
Yeah, we dated. We tried the dating thing.
We
out.
really actually went to school together.
Okay.
Let's start with that. We went
Yeah.
to school together. He hit me up on a website and he said that he always had a crush on me. So like a week later, we got together.
So the bottom line is you were together, you started having sex. Were you or were you not using protection?
No, we was not using.
No.
Your Honor.
And at that time, were you having sex with anyone else, Ms. Hines?
No, ma'am.
Mr.
Miss Your Honor.
Mr. Jackson, what information do you have
Miss-
that would suggest that she was
had
having
another
sex with
male
somebody
living
else?
with her, and it was a time that, like, I was snooping around the house and I had seen a box because she had said they was taking some stuff to storage. So I had seen a box, and
That
in
means
that
me and
box
my
it was
ex
some
is-
condoms
yeah.
in the box. Because
So
I
when
was
you were in her
getting
house,
paid
you were
and-
snooping around and you saw
Yeah.
some condoms in a box.
Yeah, and I thought she was like,
So you thought at that point that man and her were having sex.
yes, Your Honor.
Your
Something
Honor,
like
that is true. I did sleep with my ex.
Okay.
So condoms in a box. That's correct because my ex
And-
was
and she
moving
had
out during
admitted
this
to
time.
having sex with
Because
this
I
man.
told my ex about him.
But you
Yes.
do admit you had sex with him.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, and I was on vacation one time, and like I was snooping around, and I got a phone, and I seen like was texting numerous people. So I had snooped and went through one of the texts, and I seen like she was texting this guy, and he was like calling her bouncy.
You're doing a lot of
and-
snooping.
Yeah, I got to.
I mean, if you're snooping,
Yeah,
why are you
got
even
to.
with her then?
I've just seen so many things that seem shady.
So
since we've
what
been
you're
together.
saying is the instances of admitting she's cheating, seeing this box with the condoms in it, the little lies
Yes,
and the
yes, Your Honor.
those things were leading you to doubt
That
her.
leading me to doubt her.
And then every time you would snoop, you see more pictures and messages
I see
in
more
her phone.
pictures and messages and like her talking and texting the other men on social media, so that gives me
Saying
doubt.
what?
And plus, he has blonde hair, and none of my people in my family has blonde hair, Your Honor. So that
Two
was like
people
one of the
makes a
first
baby,
reasons.
Your Honor, and to be honest, that's one of our family traits, is brown hair like that. My brother was born with light brown hair.
Yeah, but my daughter looks exactly like me, like my
To be
twin.
honest, if you look
So-
really closely at his hair is not jet black. And my son's hair was lighter than that. like born. Like I guess that's baby.
So wait a
hair.
minute,
It's
you
gonna get
saying
darker.
the baby isn't yours because y'all don't have the same hair color? Come on, Mr. Jackson.
It's not that.
Yes,
It's just
please.
because
Come on
like
now.
she was living with another man and she admitted to having sex with this man.
That I
and she
cannot.
has
That
friends.
those parts of your doubt I
And I
understand.
believe-
So the point is, you're saying you really don't know, Mr. Jackson,
I really don't know, Your Honor.
and that's the problem.
Yeah, that's my problem.
Because with all your snooping, you never could pinpoint.
Exactly.
The date.
I like to do my detective work.
But that's what I'm
And
saying.
and
But your detective work did not lead to the answer of, was this sexual relationship going on during the window of Matthias's conception? That's what your question is.
Yes.
So, Ms. Hines, what has Mr. Jackson done for Matthias? Is he involved? Does he help support him?
Behind closed doors, he's his son. Around other people, he's not. When we're together, that's his son.
Yeah,
when
from-
we're not
from the jump-
together, he's not his son.
Did you ever consider each other boyfriend and girlfriend, or you just sleeping together and sleeping around?
At some point until I figured out that, like, she's bringing her man, like, she's so friendly that she's bringing her man to come and stay with her
Your
and stuff like
Honor.
that. While she's bringing me at the house, like, we in the house together, like.
So
okay,
you're living in the house with her, and then she lets another man come and
stay too, yeah.
He was trying to move out. So yes, there's boxes, there's clothes.
There's condoms in those boxes. They're taking showers in front of each other. They're arguing, and every day. And she's cooking
I want
for
him
him. They're
out my
watching
house.
movies and taking pictures on the couch. How can I even have a reason to believe that she's my girlfriend or
Your
anything?
Honor, I have some evidence right here if you want to see it.
I would love to
This
see
is his
it.
Facebook.
You just submitted Facebook messages, a pack of them. What are these to demonstrate?
He's calling me a liar and a whore or a hoe, whatever, sleeping around. But that's what he's been doing since we got together.
So these are messages to
2011.
countless, lots and lots of women. So from the looks of these messages, it seems like you entertaining these women.
The reason why I did what I did because like she had messages in her phone from her other fella that was talking about working on their relationship as far as the workout.
Before
They had built
that,
the first
he was
time.
cheating on me. Like, he's been cheating on me from the beginning.
Well, it's
Don't say
obvious
that.
he's entertaining
Okay,
countless
thank
other
you.
women. That's a no-brainer after looking at that. So, Ms. Hines, you've been struggling to support Matthias.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Jackson has contributed what?
Miss-
4 outfits.
And you've been doing this by yourself?
I mean, I have my mom, and then I have my best friend.
Let me hear from your best friend. Ma'am, please stand. State your name.
LaPortia Johnson.
Ms. Johnson, you are Ms. Hines' best friend.
Yes, Your
And
Honor.
what do you know about this? What do you have to add?
I know everything about the situation. I know she's been pretty much taking care of him by herself with my assistance, her mother, no help from him.
Your
I do
Honor,
most of the babysitting.
This woman is
He's paid me
irrelevant.
twice for babysitting. $10 a piece, both times. I'm more of a father to this child than he is.
And the reason why she's in the picture is because after I had him, I got
Your
him a
Honor,
job. Told him, I said, can you please watch Matthias while I go to work? I was 10 minutes late, Your Honor. That means clocking out and getting back to his house. 10 minutes late, and he had the nerve to pass him to me and was like, don't make this a habit. After
reason-
that,
Say that?
The reason why I did that, yes, I did.
Did you say that?
Yes, because
Okay.
I have doubts that this is my son because he does not resemble me, and she's been talking about this other
You
guy,
don't know that
so-
I've been potty training your son. You don't know that I spend money on your son. You don't know that one day she had no money for diapers and she called you and asked you for $5 and you told her
Really?
no, but then you got a cab and went somewhere?
Really.
Mr. Jackson, did you go to any doctor's appointments?
Yes, I did.
yes.
Were you there at the birth?
Not at the birth, but I came after the birth.
And when you saw the baby, what did you feel?
I really didn't feel a connection because like he didn't have really much of my features, and I seen that he had like a blondish orange hair, and that's just not my family.
Okay,
so
but
I
if
had
you
a
didn't
reason
feel
of
a
doubt right
connection
there.
from the beginning,
Yeah,
why
yeah.
didn't you take the paternity test when she offered to pay for it?
Look,
Good question. Why
Your
didn't you
Honor.
take the paternity test early on, Mr. Jackson?
she's making false accusations.
I'm not
because
making
that
false
was never-
accusations. I was on the phone.
Yeah,
Not on the
wasn't
phone. You were on the phone with her.
Oh,
and
you
she
was on the
sitting
phone?
at my house crying about
We
it.
must have had a conference call then.
And see, this is what he does to her. He'll talk and talk and talk until she's broken down like this. And then eventually she just shuts down. And then he's won.
What are you most upset about, Ms. Hines? What are you feeling? Because I'm exhausted just listening. I've been trying to understand this. You all have done, a lot of
I don't
talking.
have to be with him. Like, we broke up so many times. It's not even about no relationship between me and him.
Right.
Like, I don't care. He could do whatever he want to do. The thing is, like, my son needs a father. He needs to know who his people is, where he comes from. It ain't just me. Like, we have no boys in our family. Like, he got, little cousins he could play with. Like, why he can't? 'Cause of rumors? Like, come on.
You feel like your son's quality of life, the opportunity he would have to have a father and a family.
After today, he still don't have to be in his son's life. It's fine, but I need him to know and his people to realize that he do have a son. Like, he's there. If y'all don't like
because
it, then I don't
he
care.
has
but
not accepted it, and neither has anyone in his family.
No.
Do you feel like any of their doubts are valid? Do you feel like anything you've done, just the relationship, the cheating with your ex and those kinds of things, do you understand why he
No,
has
I
some
do
doubt?
not understand. He just wants to do what he wants to do. He always just want to make excuses. I could be like, I'm not cheating on you, move in. You can watch me 24/7. He ain't gonna come. It's not my fault that he don't want to move in because he want to do his dirt. It's not my fault. I can't make him. But then again, I'm talking to everybody. What?
I'm not going to move in with a woman who has another man living with her and she's
You
like,
helped me
constantly
move
talking.
out with that man. So what is you saying? If there was a problem,
It's about
you begged
Matthias.
me
It's
to-
not about you and her.
Exactly.
It's about him.
well, stop bringing it up.
So if,
bringing
in
it up.
fact, it is determined, Ms. Hines, that Mr. Jackson is, in fact, Matthias's biological father, would you be interested in having a relationship with him, or you just don't want that anymore?
I hope not.
The thing is, like, I love him. I do. We've been together 3 years. Like, I do love him. The thing is, I just hate how he treats me. I'm not that person. He even says I'm not that person, but he just want to believe other things. That's his problem. I always wanted a family. Like, all women want a family. They don't just have sex with a dude and be like, oh, I'm pregnant, bye. Unless that's what you want, but that's not what I want. I actually want a family. I had a family before. That's why it kills me. I left my family for him. I did not have to want for nothing, Your Honor. My daughter, father gave me the world. He takes care of his child. To this day, he still takes care of his child. I wanted the same thing with him. You're not just gonna leave just to be with a messed up man. Like, why? That's just killing yourself. Like, who does that?
So, Mr.
It's
Jackson,
just the lies. Like, 1 minute, like, we're together. He even said we're gonna get engaged. But then again, I'm a whore and that's not his son. Like, I don't know what, he tells me one thing and then tells everybody something else. Like, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? That's why we're here. It's like, forget it then. I'm gonna just prove to you that he's his and then go about your business. It's not even worth it no more, fighting.
Mr. Jackson,
Yes, Your Honor.
I think Ms. Hines is being very transparent about what this entire situation has done to her and has cost her.
Yeah, I understand, Your Honor.
If, in fact, Matthias is found to be your biological child, what are your intentions?
My intentions, I would love to have a son because I have a daughter already. I don't really get to spend much time with her, and because she's out of the city. So if that's my son, I would love to step up and at least try to make things work out with Rachel. But these accusations and the things that I've seen in the past is what's holding me back.
And if he's not your son, what are your intentions?
Then my intentions is to move on and show that I was right.
All right.
Show that I was right. And
Let's get the results. Jerome?
These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Hines versus Jackson, pertaining to 22-month-old Matthias Hines, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Jackson, you are Matthias's father.
Okay. At least, like, if I can get a hug, you mind if I get a hug? So I can, no accusation?
That's up to her. That's up to her. He said he'd like to give you a hug. Are you okay with that or not? You can say no.
No.
All right.
Maybe
Step
later.
on back over there to your side.
Later.
You can hug.
That way I gotta let it cool down.
So, Mr. Jackson?
If she will allow me to be in his life and to try to work things out with her, if she can accept my apology.
Well, why don't you start by apologizing?
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry, Mrs. Hines, that I treated you in such a way and slandered you. You accept my apology?
I do.
Thank you.
And that's a start. That's a start, Mr. Jackson, for all of your investigation and your detective work.
I need a new profession then, huh?
You do. And I'm glad you said it. Because as you can see, the problem about invading someone's privacy is you get so much information, you don't know how to process it, you get it out of context. The thing she admitted to doing, you couldn't even believe that because you had so much more data to process.
Yeah.
This is a mess. You have to change this. Now, part of that means you got to step up to the plate, Mr. Jackson. Now, that's one thing you've admitted to. You haven't really done anything. You haven't really participated. It's time for you to do what's right. Mr. Griffin, you were a married man who had a 2-year affair with your wife's stepsister, the defendant. You say that relationship produced a daughter, but Ms. Richmond claims you are not her daughter's biological father. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Your other daughter, Lakeisha, is here to support your claim. Ms. Richmond, you admit to the affair with Mr. Griffin, but say you are positive the plaintiff is not your daughter's biological father, and you plan to prove that in court today. Is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
And so how do you end up having an affair with your sister's husband?
Not thinking, just being wild at that time of my age, and just not caring about anything. I can admit to that. I'm trying to fix it for her now.
Mr. Griffin, I have to ask you now. I mean, you a married man, and it's bad enough you sleeping around outside the marriage. But your wife's sister?
That was an honest mistake, Your Honor. But at the same...
Wait, now there wasn't no mistaken identity. You knew it was your wife's
I
sister.
understand. No, I'm talking about me doing what I did.
Was it an honest mistake or a dishonest mistake?
Dishonest mistake. Mm-hmm.
How long did this mistake
It lasted, I'd say, about 2 years.
Yeah. 2 years?
About a year. I know a year.
This wasn't no mistake. This was a decision.
Exactly.
Okay? Hey. So for 2 years, you were sleeping with your wife's sister?
Yes.
Regularly?
Yes.
Often, very often.
Without protection?
Without protection.
Mm-hmm. Lord, you should be able to be alone with your sister's husband and not sleep with him, or him not sleep with you. But how are you all spending this much time where this type of relationship could develop?
Because he was taking me home from when I used to go over to their house to visit my stepsister and stuff.
How long had you been married at the time, Mr. Griffin?
I'm still about 10 years.
So you all had known each other for an extended amount of time. Oh, this is all in the family.
All in the family, Your Honor. I was in love, so I thought what I thought was love back in that time.
Oh, because you had worked yourself up that you was in love with him.
Yes, Your Honor. I think that's why I chose to tell him first before anyone else that he was the father. We slept together more unprotected than I did with the other gentlemen.
And when you told him, what was his response? Do you remember?
As I remember, he said yes. right off. He came over to my house and he picked her up and he went up on the stairs and he, you know, put her up to the light and he said, yeah, she could be mine. And that was the last we ever discussed her really seriously.
That's the last you discussed her paternity?
Of him seeing her, actually, of me and him talking about her, being
I never
as
seen
one.
him.
Yeah, I've never.
That's because she left.
Hold on, Miss.
I'm coming
Hold
to
on,
that
Miss
part.
Richmond.
I'm coming to that part.
Miss Richmond Tykia, you're asserting in court today that you have not seen Mr. Griffin?
I seen him one time when I was like 14. But
in your life?
In my life. I spoke to him the first time on the phone, like the other week. I never
That's because I didn't know
talked
where
to
they was
him.
at. 30 years I've been knowing that she's my daughter.
So you've never had a doubt?
Never had a doubt.
In 30 years?
In 30 years.
I did tell him that I was pregnant, but also I did tell him he was the father. But at the time, he also knew I was, you know, with other people also, and he was a married man, so, and I'm sure he was with other people too, so I was with 2 other guys.
So you were admitting that at the window, during the window of conception, you were also sleeping with 2 other men?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you tell those men you were pregnant as
No,
well?
Your Honor, no.
Why did you only choose to tell Mr. Griffin?
Mr. Griffin was the one I was with mostly all the time, mostly.
Right.
So that's
and so
why
you know it only
assumed
takes
was
once
his.
though, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Her mother's saying there is doubt and you're not. How can you be so sure?
Got photos here of when I was young and she was young.
Jerome, let me see that.
And because if it wasn't my daughter, why would the reason she come and tell me that she was pregnant?
Were you with her all during the pregnancy?
No.
We was never together.
No,
You weren't together during the pregnancy?
After I got pregnant, we never had too much contact because I got into a
No,
relationship
that
with
was
another
you because
gentleman.
you didn't want to come over.
While you were pregnant with his child?
Out.
We didn't hardly see each
She
other.
was trying to hide it from her stepsister.
So, Mr. Griffin, how did you tell your wife that you got her sister pregnant?
I didn't. Because I was too embarrassed to tell her I did that. You know?
So, Tykia, I want to hear from you.
Right.
Because I want to understand, at what point did you find out?
Like the first time someone brought his name up was like, my mom never brought his name up. And then we went to Albany when I was in the 3rd grade, and my aunt and my cousins say, oh, you look just like the Griffins. You look just like the Griffins. That's like what everybody always say. You look just like those Griffins. And I'm like, who is the Griffin? She's like, oh, no, those not your people. That's not your dad. I don't know. My mom, when people ask me who's my dad, I always said my whole life, I don't have a dad. I don't know my dad. I don't have a name. My mom never told me a name.
How hard is that as a young woman growing up?
It's just sad. And then I always have to hear stupid stories now about some old 70s triangle, love triangle. It's just stupid.
Wow, your family, they're your links. They're your pieces to your puzzle when you figure out who you are as a child.
Exactly.
I mean, without that, I can imagine that you did feel like you didn't know where you came from.
I'm sorry about that too, because I was very selfish for years and I didn't want to deal with my past, but I wasn't thinking about your life, and I'm sorry.
Probably when I was like in high school, I got a message on MySpace. Can you remember MySpace?
I sure do. I wasn't on it, but I remember
So
it.
I got a message on MySpace from Lakeisha. Just a long little thing saying, I think you're my sister. And I'm just like who is this girl? So
And wait, so when you first got the message, were you overwhelmed with emotion or did you feel like it was a prank? What were you thinking?
I just thought she was crazy because of what my mom say.
Oh, because your mom had told you.
All I know is what my mom say.
So, Ms. Griffin, Lakeisha, I want to hear from you. You reached out to Tykia.
I did.
And what made you do that?
Well, I was in my dad's room one day because my sisters was taking up the other mirrors. So I was in there doing my hair. And after I got done and I'm getting all my hair supplies out of his room and stuff, I'm straightening up his dresser. And I see some mail from Jackson County Child Support. And I began to look at it and I seen her name. Tykia's name. After that, I decided to look her up on MySpace so I could see what she looked like.
Had you ever been told about Tykia?
Yes.
Who told you about her?
My mother. She just kind of mentioned that we had another sister, but I didn't know what her name was.
So, Miss Richmond, how did Mr. Griffin end up with child support papers if you said he was not the father?
Okay, I'm getting ready to explain that to you, Your Honor. When I moved to Wisconsin with her when she was almost 2, and we took a paternity test at that time, okay? I went on and did the child support, and she told me that, well, the test proves that he's not the father, so do you have another name to give me?
So you were told he was not the father?
Yes, I
All
was.
right, now I want to jump over to you. Mr. Griffin, do you remember submitting to this DNA testing years ago?
Yes, I do. And from my knowledge, that I got the paper saying I was the father.
You got the papers, and they said that you were the father.
Yes.
So you're saying you got paperwork from one DNA test, you got paperwork that says you were the father, and Ms. Richmond, you got paperwork that says he was not.
Exactly. And I also
I've been hearing that for about 8 years.
Okay.
It's stupid because when I looked, I said, Mom, there's no record of that DNA
Exactly,
test.
that's what they...
Hold on, so now the plot thickens.
Why would I get child support papers if I didn't
I don't
show
know
up for
why
the test?
Jackson County would lie when we called. They said they cannot. I tried to get
your
the
mom
paternity
just said
card.
right over there herself that she had the test done.
Yeah, I took
They
the
said
test.
you
And I
didn't.
Oh, hold on,
Thank you.
family, hold on.
Yes, Your Honor, yes.
Wow, this is
Well,
complicated.
I called. All I know is I believe the other people better than believe in
Thank
them.
you.
And when I called them, they said that they do not have a test.
Thank
they
you.
said that
From him.
we took ours, but he did not show up to take his. That's what they said. If
And
that's
that
not
in and
true,
of
I
it's-
don't know.
That
But that's
would've
what
been
they
a
said.
And
told me.
listen, that in and of itself is why, even at 32 years old, it is important for you to be in this courtroom today.
Amen.
From that very piece of testimony you just said. I want to move forward because I want to understand. In your court papers, Tykia, you mentioned that one of the reasons you were prompted to get down to the bottom of this was because of the loss of your husband.
Correct. One of the other sisters, Griffin sisters, her wedding was May 21st, 2011. And she invited me and my husband. And my husband believed I looked like some of the other sisters. So he was like, yeah, we should go. We should go. And I'm like, I don't know. And then I like talked to the other people, like my sister and my mom. They like, you know, I don't think they're your family, so why would you go all the way to Michigan to a wedding? So we did not go, and that was the day he died.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
And he was a firefighter. I loved him to death, and he drowned. So, I mean, I was just so sad.
He drowned in the line of duty?
Yeah, if you go in Macon, Georgia, they renamed the area after him on Lake Tobesaki to the Michael Jones fishing area. So that's nice. And so basically her wedding day is Mike's death date. So if we would have went, maybe he would have been alive. Yeah. I'm sorry.
You don't have to apologize.
It's okay.
You don't have to apologize, and you don't have to feel guilty.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
No,
I'm sorry. I just want to talk about my husband.
I understand.
Talk about him.
I understand.
Sorry.
You don't have to apologize. What I'm here to make you understand, and I'm hoping that I can, is that this guilt that you feel, first of all, I want to say it's normal. I have lost my mother, and I probably replay that day. It's been 10 years, and I still replay the day. If I would have took the 12 o'clock flight instead of the 5 o'clock flight, and everything that I could have done in between, that is natural. But what I see here is even another layer to this. That because of that lack of security, because of that feeling of disconnection, all of these feelings, I believe, are compounding what your natural grief process would be. And that's where our paternity issues, they begin to anchor us down, they weigh us down so that we can't move forward. And that's why it's important that we come here to get this resolved today. I think it's time to get some answers.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Before I go to these results, Mr. Griffin, I want you to look across the aisle right now. This is a woman, you say this is your daughter.
Yes, I believe, yes, I truly believe.
Well, to me, you haven't been in this courtroom acting like much of a father. And I want you to turn to your daughter right now, if you believe this is your daughter, and I'd like for you to tell the court how you feel, and more importantly, how you recognize what she feels.
Well, I'm sorry for your husband, and I wish that I had been there for you. And I'm sorry for not being there for you.
Listen, I do believe you have a level of regret. You come from a generation where I'm sure there was a level of, well, just let well enough alone. Some people believe that. We hear those stories in this courtroom, where when things get away from us or people move on, you don't want to disrupt maybe what the new family structure is, and you feel like, well, let me just play my part and stay to the back. But what I do want you to understand is, as this young woman stands here and talks about what she's dealt with for 32 years, I want you to honor the part you had to play in that hurt, because that is important for her healing as well. I'm ready for the results. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Griffin versus Richmond, when it comes to 32-year-old Tykia Richmond, it has been determined by this court, Mr. Griffin, you are not her father. 32 years of thinking you were this woman's father.
I'm just gonna have to help her find it, because I got names for her. So whatever I gotta do to find her father, I'm just gonna have to continue.
I'm sorry.
Okay, let's go.
You still my sister.
Thank you for that.